In recent years, there's been an influx of shows in the slice of life genre, many of which have gone on to become popular anime releases in their respective seasons. Mix that with a little romance element and you got a recipe for success that hits every single time. But what about the sleeper picks? The ones that fly under the radar? Some other expression I can't think of, so the intro starts playing while I think. That's right, I'll be highlighting some overlooked slice of life series and hopefully recommending some in the process. I wanted to dive into different types of anime this year as I watch mostly shonen and that gets monotonous very quickly. So I thought, let's go on the complete opposite end of the spectrum and dive into some slice of life romances. Cause who doesn't love that doki-doki feeling you get inside when watching a series like that? A fucking serial killer, that's who. Nice transition to the first series. The Dangers in My Heart centers around our main protag, Kyotaro Ichikawa, your average emo sad boy that no one understands. Each day he fantasizes about killing his classmates, even carrying around a murder encyclopedia on the human anatomy. His ideal target for said killing is one Ana Yamada, a popular girl in the school who happens to be a model/actress. Basically the exact opposite of Ichikawa in every way. But through numerous interactions with Yamada, most of them being in the library, he starts to develop genuine feelings for her, and throughout the season the two become closer. Upon hearing the plot by itself, you would think that this type of series shouldn't work. When watching the first few episodes, I had this stance regarding the show. I wasn't really feeling it like I thought I would, but I was intrigued, so I pushed forward. When Ichikawa stops this whole "tonight will be the night that I will die for you" as character arc, loosens up and actually starts to like Yamada, I was sold. Seeing him in the last few episodes of the season, you wouldn't even believe that that's the same character from episode 1, as he does a complete 180. Like I said before, I wasn't really vibing with the first few episodes but kept going because of intrigue, mainly due to the amazing character writing and beautiful visuals. If it wasn't written as well as it was, I definitely would have dropped the series. The characters are extremely charismatic, especially the two leads. I enjoyed the dynamic Yamada and Ichikawa had and seeing it develop over time. The comedic moments hit when they needed to, on top of the gorgeous animation, I was hooked. One gripe I did have regarding the series was that sometimes the writing was slightly off-putting. Some scenarios did seem a little too mature for them being middle schoolers. At times they just sounded like adults in kids' bodies. The manga is classified as a shonen but has raunchy writing and scenarios bordering more towards a seinen, for example. Other than that, the series was well done. Slow start in the beginning but makes up for it as the season progresses. And I can't wait for season 2 this coming January. Kinda like Call of the Night season 2. Insomniacs After School is about a kid named Nakami who suffers from, you guessed it, insomnia. I don't know how you guessed that so quickly. One day he goes to take a nap in the school's observatory, and that's when he meets Magari, a girl at his school who also suffers from, you got it, come on, you got it, you got it, you don't got it, you don't, no, it's insomnia. After running into each other and getting to know one another, the two become good friends and together attempts to revive the school's astronomy club. Since the two have a hard time sleeping, they put all their time into learning photography. With a simple, easy to follow plot, the complexities really come from the characters and the writing. Each character is so layered in terms of how they're written and presented in the story. How the two main characters are so similar with their insomnia, but extremely different at the same time. Nakami coming off as a grouch in the first episode but can't help it. Marguerite always closing herself off and going to the observatory, so when the two finally meet, it's a match made in heaven. The instant connection, their dynamic, and how they bounce off of each other was nice. And the momentum never took a huge dip in the entire series, which I enjoyed. The side characters were a joy to watch as well. I definitely enjoyed Yui, who's basically like the unofficial senpai to Nakami and Magari, teaching the two everything they need to know about photography, and it wouldn't be a slice of life romance without, well, the romance, which was beautiful. Seeing the chemistry between the two develop and elevate in the final episode was well worth the journey. It didn't seem forced at any point throughout the series, which was a huge plus for me. A lot of romance in anime do tend to take that route, which I hate with a passion, but Insomniacs After School doesn't do that. Earlier I mentioned this series as Call of the Night Season 2 because I've seen numerous people on social media refer to it as a toned down, less horny, mature version of Call of the Night, which I can see the similarities in why they view it as such. They both heavily deal with the nighttime, the main characters have trouble sleeping, and due to the fact that they're both produced by the same studio, Light and Films. Also, both male protagonists, Ko and Nakami, are voiced by Sato Gen. Even Magari's older sister, Haya, shares the same seiyuu as Nazuna, Amamiya Sora. Out of the slice of life series I've seen this year, this was my favorite one. Light and Films went above and beyond with the adaptation, as it's visually stunning, especially all of the nighttime scenes, which begs the question, Season 2? When? Also, can Tokyo Revengers get good animation like this, Lighten? Please, 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 please stop cucking that show. Skip and Loafer revolves around the protagonist Mitsumi, a cute girl from the countryside who moves to the big city of Tokyo to start high school. She has dreams of working for the Japanese government when she's older. On the day of her entrance ceremony, she is determined to take the world by storm. Unfortunately, that's not even close to what happens. Getting caught in a commuter rush, she ends up getting lost with no means of finding the right train, until she meets Sosuke, a guy attending the same entrance ceremony. Because of this, he always goes to school with her to prevent that from happening. If I were to describe wholesome in one anime this year, it would be Skip and Loafer. Not once did I finish an episode without a huge smile on my face or a warm feeling inside. The characters we meet throughout are all great. There wasn't one that I necessarily hated. The animation was the element that stood out the most for me. Visually, is softer and less punchy with its colors, but still expressive. Has more of a painting type aesthetic to it. It reminds me of an early 90s to 2000s anime, but modernized. I'm surprised more shows have come out in recent years with that energy, like Magical Destroyers and the Urusei Yatsura reboot, two shows that no one really talked about when they released. Skip and Loafer was a very easy watch, but because of the bigger releases, it got overshadowed, which sucks as it's one of my favorites released that season. I will 100% recommend this one. I almost forgot Tomo-chan as a girl released this year, but this was another highlight of the series. The show focuses on Tomo, a tomboy who is in love with her childhood friend Junichiro, but Jun only sees her as one of the guys. So in order to get him to like her, with the help of her two friends Misuzu and Carol, she spends the entire season girlifying herself to become more feminine and approachable to win Jun over. Compared to the other shows I mentioned, this isn't as deep and layered, and it doesn't have to be. The charm of the show is not only its characters, but the many situations Tomo and the girls go through to make her appear more feminine. From Misuzu and Carol buying her a new wardrobe to changing the way she talks, even not wearing pants under her skirt. And of course, through all of the trial and error, Jun starts to develop genuine feelings for Tomo. And how it's resolved at the end wasn't how I expected it to go, but the payoff was worth it nonetheless. This show is about a girl that the main boy likes, and she forgets her glasses. Yeah. I'm good, Chief. I'ma head out on this one if that's alright. After seeing the opening clip of the show on Twitter, any curiosity I had was thrown out the window with that god-awful, wonky-ass looking CGI tracking shot. Is there a good story? Maybe. Will I be finding out? Okay, I know this one is technically cheating because it came out last year, but I did happen to binge it not too long ago. Plus, this is my channel and I can do whatever I want, so leave me alone with it, alright? The show focuses on Gojo, your average kid that no one understands. Take a shot every time I said that in this video. He wants to make Hina dolls just like his grandfather, who he spent majority of his life with. Gojo doesn't have friends in school. That is, until he meets Marin, one of the popular girls in his class. He sneaks in the sewing room after school to make some clothes for his doll. Marin barges in and sees Gojo's Hina doll. And instead of thinking he's weird, which was his original thought, Marin thinks it's beautiful. She reveals that she wants to cosplay as her favorite video game character, Shizuku-tan, but doesn't know how to make clothes. And despite not making clothes for an actual human, Gojo agrees, and the two become quick friends. My Dress Up Darling was one of those shows for me where I hear about it upon release, but don't check it out until months later. In this case, being an entire year, oh wow, my god, I'm sorry. I didn't know what to expect going into it, so it super exceeded those expectations. For cosplayers, this is essentially a how-to guide that you can follow and take notes from. The characters burst with so much personality and charisma that it's infectious. Marin especially, being the energetic, bubbly Gyaru, perfectly contrasting Gojo, who's more laid back and soft-spoken. In regards to the romance, this was also well executed. After the first cosplay event, we really get to see that aspect come into play, as on the train ride home, a sleep-deprived Gojo compliments Marin in her Shizuku-tan cosplay, calling her beautiful. And from that moment, Marin starts to fall in love with him, as he doesn't use that word unless he really means it. Seeing her deal with that was absolutely hilarious, and Gojo being completely oblivious to it was a huge plus. What I didn't expect was it to be as well animated as it was. With a lot of slice of life shows I've seen, there aren't many showcases of extremely fluid animation on the level that My Dress Up Darling does. Maybe because I haven't seen a lot, but I want to dive deeper and watch more to find out. A year later, I now see why this series was as popular as it was when it aired, and why it's still popular to this day. Slice of life is very low-key when it comes to anime. Many series release just as frequently as a lot of bigger name titles, but don't get the same amount of love and attention from anime fans, because if they don't know about it, why would they care? But if you're willing to dig deeper and not just watch your Bleaches, Chainsaw Mans, and JJKs, you may find some gems like the ones I mentioned. Well, that's the end of the video. As always, leave a like, comment what your favorite slice of life anime were this year, and subscribe if you rocked with the video. Till next time, deuces.
I don't need no one else. With you, don't need no one else. Round her, I can lift my bells. Finally, I can be